When people hear the word NATO, they often think of protection and stability, and that's true. NATO was created to prevent war through collective defense, but the same system that helps keep peace can also cause a conflict to grow larger if it ever breaks out. In this video, we'll explain how NATO works, and how it could play a role in escalating a regional conflict into something much bigger. NATO stands for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It was formed after World War II with one main goal: to ensure that an attack on one member would be treated as an attack on all. This idea is known as collective defense. The core of NATO is Article 5 of its treaty. Article 5 does not automatically declare war, but it does create a strong commitment. If a member country is attacked, the others are expected to respond in some way to restore security. This structure is designed to deter aggression. The logic is simple. If attacking one country means facing many, the risk becomes too high. For decades, this has helped prevent direct conflict in Europe. However, collective defense also means that local conflicts can expand. If fighting breaks out between a NATO member and another country, the situation immediately becomes more complex. Other members must decide how to support their ally, and their involvement can widen the scope of the crises. For the United States, NATO is one of its most important alliances. American forces are closely integrated with European militaries through joint planning, exercises, and shared defense systems. This close coordination strengthens deterrence, but it also means the US is deeply connected to security developments in Europe. Imagine a situation where a serious military incident occurs near the border of a NATO country. Even if the initial event is limited, the political pressure to show unity would be high. Allies would want to demonstrate that the alliance is credible and reliable. This could lead to increased troop deployments, air patrols, naval operations, and logistical support. These actions are defensive in nature, but they also raise tensions. The opposing side may view them as preparations for a larger conflict. Another important factor is credibility. Alliances depend on trust. If members believe that commitments might not be honored, the deterrent effect weakens. This creates pressure to respond firmly, even when leaders want to avoid escalation. Communication becomes critical in these moments. Hotlines, diplomatic talks, and military-to-military contacts are used to clarify intentions and reduce misunderstandings. Without communication, defensive moves can be misread as offensive ones. It's also important to remember that NATO decisions are made collectively. Different countries may have different risk tolerances and perspectives. This can slow decision-making, but it can also provide more chances for diplomacy. NATO does not exist to start wars. Its purpose is to prevent them by making aggression less attractive. But in a crisis, the very strength of the alliance can make situations more intense because so many countries are involved. From a global perspective, if NATO were ever directly involved in a major conflict, other powerful countries would pay close attention. They would assess how their own interests and alliances are affected, which could further expand the situation. The key point is that alliances they are powerful tools for stability, but they also connect many countries together in ways that can spread risk during a crisis. Understanding NATO's role helps explain why regional conflicts involving alliance members are watched so closely. It's not just about one country. It's about the network behind it. The overall goal of NATO and its members, including the United States, is still prevention. Deterrence, coordination, and communication are meant to stop conflicts before they grow. If you want more clear explanations of how global security systems work and how they affect the risk of larger wars, consider subscribing. Understanding these structures helps make sense of today's complex world.